Hello, everybody. My name is Sunny. Welcome back to Sunny Productions, and here we are today with Mastering the Oil Industry: 5 Tips for Beginners. And I think we should just get straight into it. So here's what the first tip is. So when you're looking at this right here, you're obviously seeing that it's pretty poor, and frankly, if it's poor, you want to rebuild it. In fact, I would always rebuild it if it is below 92%. If it is above 92, I'd recommend keeping it. Some people recommend 95, some recommend 90, but I think 92% is just a really good sweet spot. It'll help you last for a couple months at least, and helps you. I think it's just a good wager between profit and scrapping. So yeah, I think that's just 92 is a solid start. Obviously, if you're really just trying to go and max everything, you'd probably want to go higher, like a 95. And if you're really crazy, try and go for 100. But it takes a lot to get to 100. Trust me on that. I've very rarely gotten 100. I think I've got like 4 rigs out of the hundreds that I've done. In fact, let's look real quick. I've scrapped 562 times out of that. I've probably gotten 10. So that's just a really good way of telling that really 92% is ideal. There's been times I've gone below that just because it's been a long time. So it really depends on what you want. But I'd usually recommend 92% and above. So number 2 is find a buyer. I think one of the most important things is to find a buyer. Selling it on the market is fine if you want to do that. It's not a big deal. You can. I don't care. It's whatever you really want to do. But the market is really volatile. In fact, I'll show you here on Simco Tools. Great app to use, by the way. Blind Exchange. There we go. Literally the first one. Okay. Crude. Am I crazy? Am I crazy? There we go. Crude oil. Sitting on it right there. So if we go in here, you can kind of tell the prices will dip. I think it hits a max of about 31.25 right there, while it really can fall and go up. So it's best to figure out a long-term deal with a private buyer. I think personally, I did this. I always had a buyer. I had several buyers at times, and this is just a really good way not of only, I guess, creating connections and having more fun in the game, but it's also a really good way to get your product up while having a consistent rate. Now, I always had a fluctuating rate just because I did 2% below market price, but you can go with a fixed price of 30, etc. You know what I'm saying? So really good to find a private buyer. It's also just better, I think. More consistent. Normally, you don't have to wait or anything like that. You don't have to compete for prices. You can send it and they'll buy it when needed. So number 3, research early. I think it's really important to get into research, especially with crude oil, because oil is one of the most popular items to start out with. It's really popular. It's a really good item, and it's in high demand. So people are always going to start on it. So if you're at Q0, Q1, or Q2, you're really going to be competing with a lot of companies to buy your product. It's going to be a lot more difficult for you to get a good price on your product. So I really recommend getting up into the Q3s, the Q4s, etc. We look here. I don't even know how to use this anymore. Like I said, I haven't used this in a while. So if you look here, you can tell that right now prices are up a lot. But if you go through, you can see just how many Q0s, Q1s, and Q2s there are before you really start getting to the Q3, which you can see here has a minimum price of $31.50 compared to the $30.50. You're getting a full dollar above. And when you're going up into the Q4s like I was, you're looking at 31.5. If you're going up into Q5, etc. You're really seeing some of these prices jump. And you can also see when I was in Q5 that there's not that many Q5 sellers on the public market. So that kind of is an indicator to show really how little people make high Q oil. So that's why I recommend researching early. Put a lot of your money into that, I think. And I think that goes straight into number 4, which is reinvest your money into upgrading your rig. Right here, I have a level 1 rig just for, I guess, demonstration. But you can tell at these prices, it's not that expensive to upgrade your rigs. In fact, right now it'd be 70,000. If you went to level 3, it'd be what, 140,000? I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's really not that expensive compared to the amount of money that you're going to get back from oil and methane. And I think that's just a good thing to do in any industry in the first place, especially if it's one that has a high profit, is just to reinvest and upgrade your rigs in obviously research. But if you're going to be researching your rigs, if you're going to be upgrading your rigs, I recommend doing your highest percentage first. Don't go with an 89. Instead, go with a 94. And I know that seems logical, but sometimes you might not even think about it, and you might just click upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. Instead, go and look through, find your highest percentage, and then upgrade that one. And number 5, and my final one, is find a power producer. If you can get your power for cheaper than the market, that's a good thing, because trust me, when I bought power, it was expensive. It cost over 3 million at times. I didn't have a private buyer for a long time. I had to go out and buy Q3 for a really long time, and I went and bought upwards of 4 million. So if you just do that, that's already $1 million right there. And that's not even to mention how much it would take to start up my production. Right here on its own, it's 13,000. That's with a 41%. So if we go up, I don't remember exactly, I haven't done oil in a really long time, so let's look here. If we do level 5 with production, what's that at? Everyone doing this, there we go. I had a 97, I actually had 100. That's 228 per hour. That's what, $12 right there. So you can just imagine it costs over 150,000 per rig to start up. So if you can save money on your power, that makes it a lot easier to start your rigs up efficiently. So I think that's really about it. Not a super long video. It's 5 tips. Hopefully they're pretty quick. But yeah, 5 tips for mastering the oil industry. Those are really some 5 beginner tips. If you want more, I suppose there can be more. I guess, have more tips if needed, and especially if this video is popular. I'd love to do more. So yeah, that's really about it. If you liked it, like the video, subscribe, and of course share the video with your friends and just on the sim company's world, I guess. But yeah, that's really about it. I guess I will see everybody later. Peace.